But new claims about Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, who made taxpayers pay for his own private massages whilst working as a trade envoy. A very good morning, Angela Levin.
Morning. Nice to see you so quickly.
Well, there you go. I opened the mail up this morning at 4 o'clock and read, and I quote, "I gave Andrew a naked massage for £75, and my bill was paid for by Coots, the Royal Bank." And I thought of only one person at 4 a.m. Not because of the naked massage. I thought, Angela, get Angela back. Honestly, eh?
Honestly is exactly it.
How
Terrible.
can you pay with a Royal Coots bank cheque and not think that sort of stuff? I mean, honestly...
No, he wrote lists at the end sometimes of what his expenses were. So they didn't really bother to find out, did that come from Mrs. Smith down the road, or, is that from Mr. Stark? And, I think that he didn't actually give those the checks. He actually gave the numbers that he'd been and where he's gone and all that. But I mean, it's sickening actually. It made me feel sick that that's how he feels about anyone.
Do you think do you suspect there'll be more abuses of his expenses as a trade envoy to come out?
Well, I don't know, do I? I mean, I haven't been involved with that, thank goodness. But I think there seems to be just an endless running of it at the moment, and we don't know what else he can come up with. But what I find absolutely awful is that he doesn't care about anyone. He would take anyone and use their tax money. He doesn't care about the royals, including his mother, who adored him. He's just a very, very unpleasant human being, frightening for a lot of people.
It's interesting. It's interesting for you to say that, and I completely agree. I told a story this morning about the old man, and people at 7:15 were like, "What?" And I'll tell it to you. I'll repeat it at 10:15. I think that transparency in the monarchy is going to have to be front and centre, because I don't think people are going to accept this anymore. As you know, the old man worked for the Queen Mother, and he told me this. He's dead now, anyway, so I can tell the story again today. He used to tell me that on a Sunday, Charles would drive up from Highgrove to play polo. But he didn't play polo, he come to Granny's house for the afternoon. I'm not going to why he went to Granny's house, probably to see Granny. Because every Monday morning on my dad's desk was a chitty that a footman had filled the Aston Martin with petrol, 70, 80 quid. There's so much that we don't know. And unfortunately, as a royalist for me, and I'm sure you're the same, I'm starting to question everything, Angela.
Well, I think you have to sort of be very careful about it, because they haven't actually got anyone to court yet. Oh. So we must be quiet until things happen there. And also that actually some awful people are just awful, and that doesn't mean that their whole family are going to be awful. And I don't feel bad about the royal family. I just feel they've been very unlucky with having a man like him.
No, I'm not saying that I'm not saying in any way that they are bad. What I'm saying is, yes, of course, it falls on them. They're then judged by some people, by the people who aren't royal. It's not like you and me, through his prison. But more than that, the questions won't go away. Has the monarchy lost its prestige because of this? Is it going to be harder for the monarchy to survive?
I think it'll be harder because so many people are against them at the moment. But I think, calm down. If it calms down, and it should actually, even if it's a year ahead, it still will calm down at some point. And then you can, make a different way of working. I think that what the King does and the working royals actually are brilliant in how they look after people, and I think they should actually show that more. If you think how hard they do work and all the people they've got to see, and they're forever having to have conversations with people, short conversations, which for me is extremely boring. Just going around shaking hands, smiling, being very nice. I mean, that's something that is essential. But
Sure, but what I guess I'm saying is badly, and listen, just understand, I'm completely with you. I think they have been an extraordinary. I am, of course, I'm with you. I've always been a massive fan of the royals, but Angela, the problem I've got now is it's not even me. The silent majority are starting to question the validity, the importance, that whether do you know what I mean? I've never heard dissension as I'm hearing it now about the monarchy, and that makes me sad, but I don't think it's going to change. I hope it does.
Well, I heard it when Princess Diana died. I was working just across the road where there were thousands of people coming up and talking about it, that the monarchy must end. This is disgusting. Nobody looked after her. They haven't got the Queen down. It was, and I used to go around talking to them because obviously it was easy for me to write about it. And they were absolutely furious with the royal family and with her, with everyone. Why didn't they look after her better? Why didn't they this? Why didn't that? And I think it's sort of a huge sort of steam of anger, and they're blamed for it. But I think it calms down a bit and people actually recognise what a good deal they do. We just have to wait. I'm sure it'll calm down.
I hope so. What was your interaction like with Andrew? Did you ever meet him?
With Andrew? Yes, extremely rude, extremely superior. But that's all right. I'm very good with understanding those sort of men. You know, I just behave in a very superior way back.
Was he the sort of person, I've heard so many people say that he treated everybody exactly the same? Very important. There were rumours last week as he was led out of Royal Lodge. He was saying, I'm the Queen's second son. You can't do this to me. There's been absolutely no sort of, I realise I've messed up. He's still oblivious, isn't he?
But isn't that interesting? Because, I mean, his mother is dead. You don't keep going back on that and say, I'm the second son, and bring it up and use it as an excuse when she's dead. I mean, that is just revolting. He's a horrible man. He's really a horrible man.
I didn't really want to ask you this, but he never asked you for a massage, did he, Angela Levin?
No, he wouldn't dare. I have a very sort of strong behaviour when I see those sort of men. I'm very stiff, and they don't dare do it.
I know that this is like putting a piece of bait on the end of a hook. What do you think Prince Harry's reaction to all of this will be?
Well, I hope he gets an awful smacking himself, actually. I did like him hugely. I was with him for 15 months while I did my biography about him. But I think now he's rotten, him and his wife. And I don't think they should have their titles. I don't think they should be spoilt in this way. And the way Harry is trying to manipulate his father, I think is absolutely disgusting.
I agree, and I think that there is a real war going on, because I think when William does become king, there will be no way back. I think that Harry's trying to ingratiate himself is a matter of time. You said
he desperately wants to get in before
the door is closed. You said something yesterday which generated sort of a viral online mad moment. You said something about Meghan Markle. You said she must be very worried. I have to revisit it. What did you mean?
When I saw your face this morning, I thought, I know what he wants to do at the end of it.
What's she worried about?
What she's worried about is that, I'm going to be very respectable, that she will lose her title. That's very important to her. What she worries about is that she's no longer thought of as clever and wonderful. Nobody likes her, and she's beginning to recognise that. And she's had a very bad childhood and teenagehood where she's been doing all sorts of things which she probably regrets for now. Then I'm not going into that.
So you're implying that because the
I'm not
light has
implying
been
anything.
but the light's been shone on the royal family, and that Meghan Markle's star in her own mind could be extinguished by something that she might or might not have done in the past. Would that be a general surmising?
She said that she and Harry were not going to say anything. They're going to keep away from saying anything because it will affect her brand. Can you ever hear anything so stupid?
You mean her jam?
Her brand, you know, all the things she makes, all the things she's trying to do. And she just makes sure that that she's absolutely number one, and if she's not number one, she doesn't want to talk.
Who do you hate more, Andrew or Meghan?
No, I don't hate any of them. I dislike them. I don't.
Who do you dislike more, Andrew or Meghan?
Both.
I love you, Angela Levin. I did think of you at 4 o'clock this morning when I was reading about a naked £75 massage.
Don't be ridiculous.
No, I'm being serious. In that polo neck. Thank you very much indeed for coming on the show. We love you. Angela Levin, live and exclusive across the United Kingdom. We'll talk breakfast and a woman